Today we have Soulbinder Nazz Mythic, technically the second boss, but he's the third in order. For this fight, I'm running an Aldrachi Reaver funnel build, and it absolutely shines. There's a huge AoE phase in the middle that lines up perfectly for funnel damage. I would probably, if I do this again, will use an unused trinket like Unyielding Nether Prism or the Lily trinket to save it for some of the ad phases that we get. Our funnel damage is no joke off of these ads, so the more glaives that we're able to build up and use that ending Reaver buff, if we Chaos Strike into our Blade Dance, we do a massive amount of basically funnel damage as long as you have your Reaver's Glaive on that target. So you want to be making sure that you're hitting these ads. If you get these debuffs, you want to either pre-stack inside of one of them if you get the orbs, and if you get one of the lines, you always want to try to make sure that you're prioritizing getting the phase blades out. The phase blades are what can probably kill your group realistically in a group if they do not kill all of the ads right away. Phase blades can kind of overrun people, and they want to be prioritized by the beams at the beginning, and when you go into the center, you also want to prioritize them. Try to make sure that, as I said before, you're always making sure that you save one glaive at minimum for these ad phases. I think at the very beginning of the ad phase in the middle, I think I had a little bit of a lag time on getting a glaive, so you always need to make sure you have one for that middle phase here. So that's very, very important. Other than that, I think the phase and this boss is pretty straightforward. Get knocked back as a group, break a couple of the phase blades out each time, and then the DKs will have to grip in the middle. This is a good time after we break these. When all of the ads come out, that's a great time for you to use darkness for the group. And people might be getting auto-attacked when they come in. There's people that did huge bursts or something as soon as an ad came out. So it's always good to have a little bit of a background. Like right here, all of the ads will come out of the phase, and then we want to drop AMZ. Then we'll probably drop darknesses, and we just make sure that nobody is dying in this phase, and we're just kind of nuking the boss. You do not have to swap off of the boss here unless your raid is kind of telling you that you're lacking AoE DPS. But realistically, if you're killing this boss, you're probably going to be fine, and it's almost just going to be used for the entire group as extra funnel damage, and for some people just pad damage. Right here is when I drop the darkness, so we get knocked back into the next set, and we probably have a little less damage than we want on the ads, so we probably could start focusing them right here, but as long as they're dead before this next set pops, we should be good. I do think that in this dungeon, using an unused, or not this dungeon, on this fight, using an unused trinket would probably be better. When I do it again, I will use a unused trinket, maybe Unyielding Nether Prism. Right here, if you get the orbs, you can just stand inside of one of the canisters here, and it basically just goes away, and nobody even has to dodge any of them, so it's actually really nice. I'm trying to greed, I'm trying to get my funnel, and the mob died before it because somebody didn't break out the one on the side. Right here, we get a little mismatch. I think the call was to go towards the door, and I think some people went towards the other side. Either way, these baits have not been the best, but you have to... This boss is definitely doable, especially for most guilds, as long as you guys know that, especially with these orbs right here, they just go straight away as long as two people are inside of these. So there's a lot less stuff to dodge, and you just need to save the big defensives and break out the phase blades. So I hope this is at least helpful for some of the people trying to do the boss, or any of the Havocs trying to do the boss. The build is pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you're trying to do as much uptime as you can, and keeping glaives for when they actually do the ad phase is a absolute priority. Right here, I'm a little behind on my glaives, so I could have saved the last glaive that I had, and I think I would have been a little better off. So those are some optimizations that we can make for the next time. Right there, that was probably, like, I fell bladed in too early, so we ended up not getting that guy out right away. This, we drop our AMZ, and now we kind of just blow into all of the mobs here. I did not have a glaive on the initial, so we get our glaive right now, and now we chuck it out. So we want to make sure that those are the two optimizations that I can make for the next time. I use an unused trinket, and then I did not realize that this phase was so close, so I was trying to use my glaives, and I did not have a glaive initially going into this pull. When they came out, I did not have a glaive immediately. It was a couple seconds off, which is not the worst, but it was probably 4 or 5 seconds at minimum where I did not have the Reaver Glaive buff or getting basically any funnel from the mob. So all of the big phases, make sure you have at minimum one. You need at least one glaive going into it because you'll get the full buff. My Aldrachi Reaver deep dive glaive video is coming out later this week. If you're interested, subscribe. And I also have some videos on hard mode Tazavesh and how to absolutely do the most damage you can inside of that dungeon and get that myth track loot for free. So it's really, really nice. Go check that out if you're interested. Thanks, guys.